Hey class, this is Sir Japes and you're listening to the Sunnyside Podcast, ang podcast para sa mga estudyanteng Pilipino. Okay, so nagbukas na nga ang CHED Merit Scholarship Program para sa mga incoming first-year college students this school year 25-26 and meron nga silang 2,779 slots na available at ang deadline is on June 20, 2025. So disclaimer for this episode, ang ating pag-uusapan is purely based sa kung ano yung nakikita natin dito sa kanilang website which is from ched.gov.ph. Himay-himayin natin para makatulong sa mga estudyante nating balak mag-apply for this CHED Merit Scholarship Program. So, for context, yung CHED Merit Scholarship Program is also considered as one of the biggest scholarships na meron sa Pilipinas. And nung college student din ako, ito yung scholarship na meron ako. Nung time na yun, so that's 2011 until 2015. Kasi ang alam kong scope nito is 4 years lang. That time, 5 years yung course ko sa college. Ang isa sa mga basis para makapasok sa scholarship na to ay yung score mo pagdating sa NCAE. Hindi ako sigurado kung meron pa rin NCAE right now, but at least mamaya dadaanan natin yung mga requirements. Wala naman tayong nakikita dito na NCAE results. In terms of overview, this is a government-funded scholarship. And of course, ang tina-target nitong isupport is yung academically talented students. So mahalaga talaga na yung grades natin ay mataas. Kung halimbawa, kayo man ay nasa junior high pa lang, and then eventually mag-grade 11, diba? And grade 12, and inaayon nyo ang CHED scholarship, na possible yung scholarship pag pumunta na kayo sa college, then make sure na mataas yung grades ninyo sa inyong grade 11 and grade 12. Especially those who belong to the following special groups. Ang sinasabi lang naman nito is more or less mas mapaprioritize nila yung mga mas nangangailangan. Kasi ilan sa mga questions sa atin is, kailangan po ba sir pasok lang dito sa tatlong ito? Hindi naman necessarily ganun. But I think itong tatlo na to, more or less ito yung mas mapaprioritize. Of course, considering na pasok din naman yung mga grades, right? So number 1 is underprivileged and homeless citizens, and then persons with disability, and solo parents and or their dependents. And then, para kanino ba to? Para to sa mga incoming freshmen, again, sa darating na pasukan 25-26. Of course, dapat mag-aaral kayo in any CHED-recognized programs under private higher education institutions or HEIs, o kaya naman any state or local universities and colleges. Makikita nyo naman yan. Pwede nyo lang ma-check via Google kung ang school na pagpapasukan nyo is, of course, recognized ng CHED, and of course, yung program na pag-e-enrollan ninyo. Sabi dito, a qualified student may be awarded full or partial scholarship. So, under sa scholarship na to, later on, i-explain natin ano yung difference ng full merit scholarship and half merit scholarship. During my time, meron na rin ganun. May concept na rin ng full merit and half merit. Punta tayo sa eligibility or kumbaga ito yung ilan sa considerations para masabi natin pwede kang mag-apply sa scholarship na to. Unang-una, dapat, of course, Filipino citizen. And then, graduating high school student or high school graduate with general weighted average of at least 96% for full merit program. So, dito na nga nagkakaroon ng kumbaga difference. Kung gusto mong mag-apply dun sa full merit program, then dapat ang GWA mo or general weighted average ay at least 96%. Meron pa rin mga estudyanteng nalilito dito. Sir, paano kung 98 ako? Pasok ba ako? Ay nako. Siyempre, pasok yon dahil nga at least 96%. So, kapag sinabing at least, ibig sabihin nun 96 pataas. Okay? And then, pag 93 to 95% naman, pwede kang mag-fall under half merit program. Merong mga questions about, sir, nagra-round off po kaya sila? Kung 92.5 ako, walang nakastate dito, but I think likely magiging strict sila to follow exactly 93% to 95%. Meron ding nakalagay, student applicants belonging to the special group of persons as underprivileged and homeless citizens, persons with disability, and solo parents and their dependents shall submit certifications or IDs issued by the appropriate offices or agencies. Kung kayo ay kabilang sa mga grupong ito, make sure na meron kayong certificate na nagpapatunay na kabilang kayo sa special group na to. So makakatulong din yan as evidence, di ba, as document sa pagsasubmit ninyo para mas mataas yung chance na makuha kayo sa scholarship na ito. And then, avail of only one government-funded financial assistance program. I think isa na rin to sa consideration before kasi ayaw naman nating mag-end up na lahat na lang ng government scholarship programs ay nasa sa inyo. Ang goal naman natin is mabigyan ng chance ang lahat ng estudyante. So, isang common question, Sir, kung meron na akong DOST, pwede pa ba akong mag-CHED? The answer is no. Kung papapiliin kayo, depende pa rin yun sa inyo. What you can do is compare kung ano yung benefits ng dalawa. But siguro ako, personally, kung papapiliin, mas preferred ko si DOST. Although, sa time ko, hindi ako nakapasok sa DOST, so pumunta ako sa CHED. So, it's up to you. Kung nag-open itong both opportunities for you, then you just need to select either DOST or CHED. Now, let's move on to the documentary requirements. These requirements, later on, kakailanganin niyo ito kapag pumunta na kayo dun sa link ng specific region na pagpapasukan ninyo. So, number 1 na sa listahan is itong certified true copy of birth certificate. Hindi ko alam kung may NSO pa now, but usually it's a PSA certified na birth certificate. Okay? Normally, dapat may copy na din kayo nito kasi kailangan yan, lalo na kapag halimbawa graduate na din kayo, mag-apply ng trabaho, so dapat lagi na kayong may extra copy para anytime na kailanganin is available siya. Second is academic requirements. A high school report card for incoming freshman students eligible for college. And, so kailangan ng report card and duly certified true copy of grades for grade 11. So, yung buong grade 11 nyo and then first sem of grade 12 for graduating high school students. So, I think this is your Form 138. Pangatlong requirement is income requirements, whichever is applicable. So, tignan nyo intindihin nyo yung nakasulat, whichever is applicable. So, number 1 is latest income tax return of parents or guardians. So, of course, meron pa rin namang mga mag-a-apply na may mga trabaho yung mga magulang nila, then kailangan nyo ng ITR ng inyong parents or ng inyong guardian. And then pangalawa, Sir, paano naman kung walang trabaho ang parents or yung guardian? Ang kailangan natin is yung Certificate of Tax Exemption from the Bureau of Internal Revenue. So ito yung katunayan na since walang trabaho or hindi nagbabayad ng buwis dahil nga hindi naman nagtatrabaho, kukunin natin yan sa BIR. Normally, ang process para makakuha nito, number 1, kailangan nyo munang pumunta sa barangay para kumuha ng barangay certificate na no income. And then pangalawa, ang usual na hinihingi dyan is kailangan mo ng affidavit, notarized, of course, by a lawyer, affidavit of no income. Yun yung 2 requirements na kailangan mo kapag pumunta ka na dun sa mismong BIR para makakuha nitong final tax exemption certificate. And third dito is a certificate of indigence either from their barangay or DSWD. So, nag-try din akong mag-search about this certificate of indigence. So, pag nilagay nyo sa Google, marami nang lalabas and mukhang may iba't ibang proseso din. Depende sa kung saang lugar ka nakatira. So, yung iba, sa mismong barangay makukuha mo na. And then yung iba naman, looks like makikukuha mo siya sa mismong munisipyo. Okay? So, do your own research din. Paano kayo kukuha nitong Certificate of Indigence. And meron din case study report from the SWD and latest copy of contract or proof of no income for the children of overseas Filipino workers and seafarers. So, ayan, kung anak kayo ng isang OFW, then good na makakuha kayo ng copy ng contract or proof of income ng inyong magulang. And then other requirement is yung ID kung kabilang ka dito sa mga special groups na ito. So underprivileged or homeless, PWD, solo parent, senior citizen, or indigenous people. Again, itong mga documents na to, makakatulong to para mas malaki yung chance na makapasa kayo sa scholarship na to. But of course, magkakaroon lang kayo nito kung legit na kabilang kayo sa mga group na ito. And then next is about the financial assistance. So dito na magkakaroon ng difference pagdating sa benefits na makukuha. So kung mapapansin nyo rito sa table na to, di ba? Ang sabi, the scholarship program shall cover tuition and other school fees and stipend which shall be released directly to the scholars or through HEIs, and meron ding book connectivity allowance per semester. Makikita nyo dito, magkaiba yung amount na possible yung makuha in terms of total kung kayo ay nasa private HEI versus SUC or LUC. Although, ang key difference lang naman, pag tinignan nyo itong table is on the TOSF or yung tuition and other school fees. Kapag nasa private ka, tignan nyo, merong amount na nakalagay. So, ibig sabihin, kinakap na nila yan up to 40,000, let's say annually, kung nasa full ka na merit program. So, it means every SEM, 20,000 max. Okay? So, possible, ang mangyayari dyan, anything in excess, kayo na dapat ang humanap ng paraan. Or pwedeng siguro, kunin nyo sa stipends na makukuha ninyo, di ba? Doon yung ibawas para may pambayad kayo and makomplete kung ano man yung tuition and other school fees. Pero, kung kayo ay mag-enroll sa SUC or LUC, state U or local university and colleges, kung makikita nyo nakalagay dito, ang TOSF or yung tuition and other school fees, libre na lahat. Because it also makes sense, right? Kung nasa state U ka, local university colleges, mas mababa din naman yan. I think that's also the reason why, pagdating sa private HEI, kinakap na lang din yan ni CHED. But if you look at the stipend, and then book and connectivity allowance, pareho lang naman. So, i-understand nyo itong table na to. It depends kung saan kayo mag-aaral, private ba na HEI, o kaya naman SUC or LUC. And then, whether under full merit or half merit program. Now, in terms of the application procedure, you need to complete all the documentary requirements. Kailangan nyo siyang i-scan. So, make sure to scan it properly kasi nga online yung application. You need to send the application documents online to your respective CHED regional office. Okay, so, as of the moment, sa time na nire-record natin itong video na to, majority ng CHED regional offices ay open na for the application. So, regions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. So, unfortunately, as of this moment, yung Region 8 hindi pa naka-open. And kapag clinic nyo yung link dun sa website ng CHED, hindi pa talaga naka-prompt yung for this round of application. From time to time, i-refresh nyo lang. Normally, dapat sabay-sabay lang din naman yan ng period. So, you also have this BA, RMM, and then CAR, Mimaropa, of course, NCR, open na rin. Isa pang manonotice nyo rin kung itatry nyo i-open yung iba't ibang links. Magkakaiba lang yung format. I think, discretion na yun ng mismong regional office kung ano yung format. But all the requirements and eligibility, definitely standard yan for this CHED Merit Scholarship Program. That's it for this video. And CHED Merit Scholarship Program is just one of the scholarships na government funded. Definitely marami pang other scholarships ang CHED. So hopefully we can also create video sa iba pang scholarships na meron ang CHED. But for now, tip natin is make sure na huwag nyo nang hintayin ang mismong deadline na week bago kayo mag-asikaso ng mga documents. Kasi medyo matagal din yan, especially yung pagkuha ng mga certifications. And then I think magkakaroon naman yan ng mga email updates, di ba? Prompt kung ano na yung mangyayaring next. So make sure na chine-check nyo rin yung inyong email from time to time. And of course, better to also follow the Facebook page ni CHED mismo para makakuha kayo ng updates. And also visit the website from time to time. Huwag kayo masyado magde-depend doon sa mga Facebook page na randomly nagpo-post na meron ng ganitong scholarship. Ang suggestion ko is huwag kayo basta-basta maniniwala unless na double check nyo na validate nyo na nag-exist or open na talaga yung application for that certain scholarship. Hopefully this episode helps you to understand better itong CHED Merit Scholarship Program, at least from a process standpoint. So, lahat ng diniscuss natin, again, is purely based on what you can see sa kanilang website. So mababasa nyo rin ito sa website nila, which is ched.gov.ph. If ever magkaroon tayo ng chance na maka-invite someone from CHED, maybe we can have a Q&A para matulungan din natin yung other students na merong mga queries, na merong mga questions about the application process na hindi natin mababasa dito sa kanilang website. I think that will be very helpful sa ating mga students. That's it for today's episode. My name is Sir Japes and you're listening to the Sunnyside Podcast, ang podcast para sa mga estudyanteng Pilipino. Class dismissed.